What's up, y'all? It's your boy Drew Morrissey, and this is How to Rap. And today's video is called Fuck Your Mixtape. And you're probably wondering why I chose such a vulgar title, but it's a subject that just is getting to me too much, and we have to address it. I call this Fuck Your Mixtape because there are way too many rappers, so-called up-and-coming MCs with this weird idea that the only way to promote yourself, the only way to blow up, the only way to even get noticed is to just drop a mixtape out of nowhere. There's several problems we're going to discuss about this, and it's just going to have to be illuminated why you, most likely, one of the thousands out there that thinks the mixtape is the only way to blow up in music, the only way to get noticed and get heard, why that's wrong, and there are a lot of other paths and avenues to the success you want. So fuck your mixtape. Let's talk about it. Okay, so the first thing about this whole mixtape mentality and like I'm always coming out with a project and I got a mixtape coming out soon is you really got to think about this. How many fans do you currently have? And when I say fans, I don't mean your mom or your friends or the other people you rap with. I mean people that are actually peeping for each and every single one of your tracks. If you can't say more than 500 to 1,000, why do you think all of a sudden just by releasing 16 tracks of music, when there's not many people peeping one track of your music, that all of a sudden they're just gonna like flock to you, like flies to shit. Like all of a sudden, well, I know you didn't peep my last two tracks, the only two tracks I've ever released, but because I'm dropping a mixtape, now I know you're really into this. It's ridiculous, So the first thing when people hit me up and they're like, okay, I want to either join your group or get coaching from you, Drew, or I want to work with you in some way. If you say to me you want to work with me or that you want me to peep your shit or whatever, and I say, okay, well, how many tracks do you have? You say, well, I have like 3 from a couple months ago, or like 2 from 2 years ago, or I've been going through life and da-da-da, but I'm dropping a mixtape. If that's your next response, like I'm already eyebrow raising, like, okay, this person's not really considering how ridiculous this idea is. They haven't been able to produce 5 tracks in 5 months, but all of a sudden they've got this mixtape coming out that's suddenly going to save them and send them into the rap stratosphere and everybody's going to want to peep them. They only got 300 fans on Twitter, Instagram. They don't even have a SoundCloud, but all of a sudden they've got a mixtape. So now it's all good. And with that in mind, I think there's another point, which is sort of this whole I'm coming out with a mixtape. To me, it's just a hidden insecurity. It's a way to always feel like you're doing something, but in truth, it's kind of just like laziness as cousins. Whenever I hear somebody's coming out with a mixtape, I usually assume that they don't make that much music. I know that sounds kind of backwards, but in my experience, and I talk to a lot of rappers almost every day as they reach out to me for coaching or to be in the group or whatever reason people hit me up. I guess I got a few views. Shout out to everybody for that. But when I hear people, when they're like, oh, I got a mixtape coming, usually those are the same motherfuckers who aren't releasing shit. I mean, it's just usually the person who's actually just got this phantom mixtape in the distance, and it's just an excuse to be lazy. So another reason I say fuck your mixtape is that most likely, in my experience, if you have some mixtape that you're supposed to be creating at some point, you're probably not dropping that much music, because the people that I know that are really out there on the grind, if they're coming out with a mixtape, it's like number 4 of the series already. Or, I mean, they're just dropping so many tracks that it's just another, it's just like, I got more shit coming. That's usually the people that are really on the grind. They're just like, I got a lot of shit. I can't tell you all of it because it's already out there. So don't make this mixtape like an excuse for you to not actually do work. It's fucking bullshit. It's weak. And I know I see through it, so I can only imagine what people at labels and shit like that see through that bullshit. It's just kind of weak. Now, the third point I wanted to make is sort of a do your history point. I say fuck your mixtape because you're probably thinking because people like 50 Cent or Wayne blew up off a mixtape that you're just going to be like the same as them. Now, a point about 50 Cent is most people don't know that he had actually planned to release a major label debut album. It's called Power of the Dollar. You can go check it out. It's actually pretty good. And before his whole mixtape blow up and shit like that, before he got shot 9 times, he had a single with Beyonce. It's called Thug Love. Go check it out. He had this album called The Power of the Dollar. He had worked with Jam Master Jay of Run DMC. In fact, JMS and JS, who taught 50 Cent basically how to write rap songs. So he was already an industry dude. It wasn't like he just was you, 16 years old, in your house with 2 songs, or 25 years old with 2 kids and 2 songs, and like well, I'm doing a mixtape. 50 Cent is not a good example of that. Lil Wayne, similarly, was already famous. He had already been a platinum rapper when he started dropping shit like The Dedication 2, The Drought, and all those mixtapes. So this dude was already in the industry. He was already in the game. So if you're looking at these rappers and thinking like, well, I need to do it the way these rappers are doing by like getting my mixtape out, like, no, fuck your mixtape. Don't fucking listen to that, like whatever voice in your head that isn't doing the research for the people that you're trying to be like. Like most of these mixtape rappers were already in the game. So when you see a new mixtape or new project by Fabulous or Jadakiss or whoever, these motherfuckers are already famous. They're already signed usually. It's not like you're seeing these people just on that piff and the next thing they wake up and they're already blown up. A lot of these rappers actually do have street teams and homies that are doing shit for them and already had little hits in their hood and shit like that. So with that being said, let's get to some solutions, because if you're just going to be doing all this dumb shit because you don't know your history, or because you're actually insecure and you're actually kind of lazy, so what you're doing is acting like you're coming out with some mixtape when you're really not. You're not even making that many songs. You hit people like me up and be like, well, I haven't made 2 songs in 2 years, but now I want to do a mixtape. How do you get out of this just rut of dumb thinking, basically? And no disrespect, but it's some dumb shit. Fuck your mixtape. First thing you're going to do is focus, number 1, on making a lot of music. So you're used to producing music. Then the mixtape won't be that hard because you're so used to making track after track after track. You got to live in the studio. If you can't afford to go to a studio, then invest your money in some way to record yourself. Or get somebody you know. Get to know engineers. Stop wasting time with some dumb mixtape you're never going to release, and work on hitting people up and engineers and working with people like me. You can join my group. We're making songs every fucking day, and we're not putting up with any kind of like laziness excuses. You can find people to work with you who are going to push you to actually make tons of music. But you have to just be in the gym so often, you're used to making a shot. You can't take 3 shots and then be like, well, probably deserve to be in the NBA right about now. So the first thing you're going to do is make a lot of music come hell or high water. The second thing you're going to do is you're going to stop looking at hip-hop history or other people's careers and not understanding that the game has changed. It's called the internet. There hasn't been that many rappers who have just blown up off the internet with the mixtapes just yet. That entire lane is still open. So I want you to stop going on the old model where you're like out on the corner selling mixtapes, or like passing up, like spamming people on their fucking websites and shit like that. Like my comment box is crazy. It's like, check my shit is not a good promotion tool. Like do some internet research. This is number 2. Do some internet research on how to actually promote yourself in 2015, and stop just thinking, oh, I just make a mixtape and then move on about my day. And number 3 is consider ways in which you can improve your music and get your music out there outside of just spending 4 months doing a mixtape for people who don't know you. Either you can focus more on promoting yourself first, song by song, or you can focus on one video rather than a whole fucking mixtape, save up for that, or you can join my exclusive group and work track by track with a coach or somebody like that, or you can try to get internships in the music industry and get in close touch with people that way, whatever it is. But find a way that isn't the normal cliche way, that actually isn't really what you want, because a lot of the rappers, as I listed, don't actually do it that way. Fuck your mixtape, fuck that old shit, be creative, find new ways around it, and you will succeed if you just use, your smarts, your natural intelligence. Don't necessarily take everything at face value. Don't think just because 50 Cent 10 years ago blew up with some mixtapes that there wasn't a whole bunch of other reasons why that happened. If you only have like 30 fans on Twitter, like don't do dumb shit, like make 16 tracks of music and waste your time that way. Like use your time to promote, build other ways, like wake up. Like there's so many other ways to get you where you want to go musically, other than some stupid assumption that the only way to blow up is mixtape after mixtape after mixtape, posting on comment boxes, going to forums, annoying people. It's not cool. It's not the way we want to do it. Hopefully this video helped you. No disrespect to anyone, but I want to keep it real because I do believe y'all have the talent and success that you want. Just play it smart, play the game. Don't work smarter, not necessarily harder. Take good shots, be patient, and it'll all be good. So with that being said, I'm Drew Morrissey. Fuck your mixtape. Let's make real music. Let's focus, and let's take it to the top. Peace.